Well, hello there, and welcome to Beyond Common Sense. This is just a very quick throw together podcast, but it was such a blessing to my heart, and so much has been happening. I just wanted to take some time this morning to share it with you. First of all, this weekend and last weekend, I'm speaking at Rapidan Baptist Camp down in Rochelle, Virginia. It was a great opportunity last weekend. I was a little nervous because I was driving 5 hours by myself, but that went so well as well. And it just reminds me that when God asks you to do something, He will help you to do it. I didn't get tired. I did decide to stay over on Saturday night and come up in the morning because of being tired. But I had such a wonderful time with about 100 ladies. Great, sweet camp. I will try to put a link on so you can take and check that out if you're in that area. Sweet people, sweet spirit. You know, when you step onto a property and you can almost sense it as soon as you come in the building, that God is there and there's a great sweet spirit in the air with the people that are working there and serving there and volunteering there. It's the place to be. So just a little shout out to Rapidan. And I'm looking forward to going this weekend, and my sweet hubby is going with me. So that is really exciting. Just the opportunity to minister and sell some books. They really purchased a lot of books, and that was fun. I've come to realize that my books are sort of like my children. I just am so proud of them. And I say that not to say, I'm great, but isn't God great? And what He has given me to write. Just this week, I was reading a bit of Spirit Rock to my 7th and 8th grade history class. We're studying American history, and there's a section in there about the French and Indian War. And as I'm reading it to them, I'm realizing that as I write these books, what I'm trying to do is get into that scene. I don't know if you've ever seen the books You Were There. I think it's an old series, and I've never read them, but I know my son read a lot of those. Trying to get you into the scene. Try to understand what George Washington was seeing. Trying to understand the Indians' point of view, the French point of view, the battles, and what it must have smelled like, and sounded like, and felt like. Anyway, that's just another reason that I write. I've sort of picked up a theme of 3 words: engage, instruct, inspire. And I've picked that theme because that's really what I do. I want to write a book that's engaging and interesting, keeps your attention. I can't help but instruct. God made me to teach. Mostly the Bible, but even history. That's why I write historical fiction. And then to inspire. Inspire to salvation. Wow, that's the big one, isn't it? But inspire to live more like Christ. That's the other reason that I write. So anyway, that was a little bit of an announcement and a catch up on the weekend. And it is actually Wednesday morning. I don't normally do this, but my devotions this morning were so sweet that I just wanted to share them with you. Again, it's from Tripp and his new Morning Mercies. And I'm just going to read it with maybe a few comments as I go. For today, September 25th, he writes, Discouragement focuses more on the broken glories of creation, that would be me, than on the restoring glories of God's character, presence, and promises. Isn't that good? Where's my focus? This is like part 2 of the last podcast. He writes, What captures your imagination controls your thoughts and dominates the desires of your heart. Outside the intentional moments of public or private worship, what occupies your private meditation? That which dominates your meditation shapes the way you view yourself, life, and God. And your view of those things shape the choices you make and the actions you take. Is your meditation kidnapped by, and he lists several things here, the disloyalty of that good friend, the sorry state of your finances, disappointment with your church, the dysfunction of your extended family, problems in your marriage, the daily struggles of parenting, your frantic and demanding schedule, physical sickness, the daily hardships of life in this fallen world. Now you may think, Paul, what do I do with all this stuff? How am I supposed to respond? Well, one of the themes of this devotional is that biblical faith, that is, true faith in the existence, presence, promises, and provisions of God, never requires you to deny reality in any way. It is not biblical faith to try to convince yourself that things are better than they actually are. It is not biblical faith to work to make yourself feel good about what is not good. Biblical faith looks reality in the face and does not flinch. Wow, that just really spoke to my heart. Do I have that kind of faith? That I can look at reality, the difficulties that I'm facing, and not flinch because my focus is on God? Let me read on. On the other hand, there is a crucial difference between facing hard realities and allowing those realities to dominate the meditation of your heart. See God's counsel to Joshua in Joshua 1:1-9. Here's what biblical faith does. It examines reality, but it makes the Lord its meditation. It is only when you look at life through the window of the glory of the one who has been the source of all your meditation that you see reality accurately. The more you meditate on your problems, the bigger and more insurmountable they seem to be. Meditating on God in the midst of your trouble reminds you once again that the God to whom grace has connected you is magnificent in his grandeur and glory. He is infinitely greater than any problem you could ever experience. Then your responses are shaped by his glory and not by the seeming size of your problems. He has a way with words, doesn't he? I think it's something that we all face when those problems are just seeming to be insurmountable. And we don't even know where to turn. And are we guilty of just wanting release? we just want out. We just want out of it. And when it's a problem that we will not be out of, we can go into despair, wondering, do I have to live like this for the rest of my life? Maybe so. Again, David and Sarah Deerking, I've shared their story before. She's the young mother who has lost both arms and legs. And she is one determined lady. She's just such a wonderful example of determination and trust and resting in God, in his perfect will. I'm sure she has difficult days and days when she just cries, not wanting to live this way anymore. I don't want to put words in her mouth, but she's an inspiration to me, that she can go on and often posts things on Facebook of what she's doing, what she's facing, and how she's going on with her life. God has a plan for her life, and God's going to use that great tragedy for his glory. Can I say he'll do that for you and me as well? Sometimes just those little trials within the home where you've held your peace. God uses that for his glory. Don't lose sight of that. And then maybe I thought it would be good. He mentioned Joshua 1:1-9. I don't know that I'll read it all, but basically this is the story where God is now talking to Joshua. Moses is now dead, and he is giving all these promises saying, this land is going to be yours. I'll pick it up in verse 5. No man shall be able to stand before you all the days of your life. I don't know how old Joshua is at this time, but he is leading the children of Israel and will be leading them for quite a few years. That's quite a promise. As I was with Moses, I shall be with you. I will not leave you nor forsake you. And here it is, verse 6. Be strong and of a good courage, for to this people you shall divide as an inheritance the land which I swore to their fathers to give to them. Here is again, verse 7. Only be strong and very courageous, that you may observe to do according to all the law which Moses, my servant, commanded you. Do not turn from it to the right hand or to the left, that you may prosper wherever you go. Verse 8. This book of the law shall not depart from your mouth, but you shall meditate in it day and night, that you may observe to do according to all that is written in it. For then you will make your way prosperous, and then you will have good success. Verse 9, for the third time. Have not I commanded you? Be strong and of a good courage. Do not be afraid, nor dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. That isn't just a promise for Joshua. That's a promise for all of God's children, those born-again believers that are trusting Him for the very next step, whether it's a big step or a small one. So I hope that's a blessing to you. I hope if you're discouraged, you will be able to allow God's Word to pull you through that difficult time and give you the encouragement that you need. Hey, thanks for listening, and have a good and godly day.